And it's time to hear another demonstration. Now we are going to hear from Mark Thompson, and that is he is from Tourism NI. Apologies, don't know why I said that. Mark will be showcasing all about the project they've been doing with the website, the who, the what, the how, and everything that you need to know to take away yourselves. So Mark, please make your way up to the stage and let's go for the second demonstration. Oh, there you are there. I was looking to that side there.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction, Jamie. I hope you haven't oversold me. But as I said, I'm Mark Thompson. I'm the Visitor Information Manager at Tourism Northern Ireland. I am a white male with dark hair, a beard. I'm wearing a blue jacket, a white shirt, and I'm short in stature, so this microphone may obscure me a bit more than otherwise. And I'm here to talk about accessibility information and the need for it. And Jamie's already referenced a number of times earlier today about how websites across the world are so poor in providing this information. But I'm also here to talk about the need for consistency in how it is presented, the opportunities it brings, and also the UK and Ireland-wide project that aims to address and deliver this. So firstly, the need and the opportunity. Now, Emer's already talked about research from Visit England and from Tourism Northern Ireland around this, but looking at UK government statistics from 2024 from the Family Resources Survey, around 25% of the population are classified as disabled. That is a quarter of the population. So it is essential that their needs are catered for in terms of the information provided by the tourism trade. But less than 8% classified disabled are actually wheelchair users. And I reference wheelchair users because for many it is the common visual marker for disability and has indeed been the icon used to identify disability. So understanding non-visible disabilities can be an issue for many. But measures and assurances through information can help inspire an untapped audience in both reference to the trade and consumers. So in terms of the opportunity economic, we've already heard about the potential of the purple pound in the UK, but looking exclusively at travel expenditure, an organisation called Wheel the World, who are experts in providing accessible tourism experiences, believe that the economic benefit for travel across the world for those with a disability or groups travelling with someone with a disability is an estimated 77 billion per year. And this is in a landscape where it's believed that maybe 1 in 10 disabled people do not travel or are afraid to because their needs cannot be catered for. So this is not just a social responsibility, it can also be a huge business opportunity. And information can help overcome these fears of consumers and also assist businesses and the tourism industry in delivering this. So to understand and deliver this need and opportunity better, a UK and Ireland steering group, information steering group was established. It was led by Visit England and the UK appointed Ambassador for Disability and Access for Tourism. And it was designed to help understand which accessibility features are most important to the end users, with the aim of bringing consistency to this information and these features. As currently, whilst the information out there is limited, when it was presented, it was often scattergun and very little consistency to it all. So on this steering group, there was representation from all UK and Ireland national tourism organisations, Visit England, Visit Scotland, Visit Wales, Tourism Northern Ireland and Fáilte Ireland. And we were partnered by a procured expert advisory body, Access and Inclusion NI, and they were there to assist as a strategic partner and help deliver independent research to help inform this. And the aim really was, maybe an ambitious aim, but to help deliver consistency of information across these islands. So in principle, it established and recommended a 3-step process. Number 1, online information, though it doesn't need to necessarily live exclusively online. And this is a checklist of key priority deal breaker information to help inform users' choices. Secondly, a toolkit, and Emer's already talked about the launch of the Northern Ireland Accessibility Toolkit this morning, and this will be the Accessibility Bible for guidance information, and it's further assisted in here by Tourism NI via the e-learning platform. And then finally, the last stage, the accessibility audit, an independent, adjudicated, third-party, detailed guidance. And I'm here primarily to talk about the first step in this process and the outcomes and principle from the UK and Ireland steering group. So I've got a couple of graphs on the slides here. They may be difficult to read due to stats and figures, but we'll be able to provide these afterwards, and I'm going to talk around the key information they show. So as part of the group, there was independent research carried out around 800 panellists, all with a variety of accessibility needs, to try help us establish what is the most important information to be displayed. And from this research, we could see that on average, an individual with an impairment actually has 2.1 conditions, and the two most popular were mobility not requiring a wheelchair and mental health provisions. Taking an overview, though, on which is the most important information to be presented, either as a primary piece of information or a secondary piece of information, we can see that mobility did matter most in relation to wheelchair use and the access of wheelchairs. Then followed that was needs around dexterity, vision, learning, mobility outside of wheelchair use, memory, stamina, breathing, fatigue and hearing. And then followed was behaviour and mental health impairments. So we can see the need for a huge breadth of information categories to fully inform visitors to tourism attractions. But these priority accessibility features can vary depending on the product, the experience or the environment. So taking an example, this example I've got on screen here is around self-catering accommodation. And we see that the most demanded requirement for information was actually around Wi-Fi in terms of communication. And following that, it was step-free shower, wet room, ground floor, bedroom, lifts and blue badge parking. But it's not just a game of pure numbers. Looking specifically again at self-catering, 6% of respondents identified 4 key priorities to them. Only 6%, but it was a key deal-breaking priority. And these were detailed accessibility statements, emergency call system, step-free lifts with ramps, or step-free access at an alternative entrance. So whilst these are not the top, it is clearly vital for a number, and therefore it is important for us to be entirely as inclusive as we can in terms of presenting what is the important information. Then following all these processes, we arrived at a minimum 4 critical features that should be presented as needs muts. And they were around accessible parking, lifts, ground floor bedroom, ensuite, and a secure garden. Then there was a further 4 secondary features, such as accessibility guide, floor plan, step-free means access to the main door, and a step-free shower. And then beyond that, there was other high priority features around autism friendly, easy to read, and step-free ramp at the main entrance. So it was important for us to be as inclusive as we can be with the amount of information we provide, but also accepting that for this guidance to be easily understood and accepted by the industry, there will have to be an end cut-off point, otherwise the list would be endless. So we arrived at a number of question sets of approximately 30 questions, and these were defined around 7 categories. And each one of these categories, the question sets was adapted to the needs identified from the research. And the categories agreed on were serviced accommodation, self-catering accommodation, glamping, camping, caravan parks, attractions, experiences, food and drink, and events and festivals. And in terms of these question sets, they are presented in the form of a simple checklist, but with a clear question, guidance, a feature name, and supporting description. And this is to help ensure the consistency of the information provided and to assist the trade and industry as much as possible in how to answer this. And it is a simple yes. There's no grey areas, there's no maybes, it's simple yes. So the next stage for Tourism Northern Ireland is to issue these questionnaires to our trade and industry to then help inform our consumer website, discovernorthernireland.com. And these will be issued to all current products onboarded on Discover Northern Ireland as a Google Doc. It will be 5 minutes per form. It will be pretty short. It will be simply a tick box with the explanation provided. So it should be really simple to fill in. It is to be completed for each product, not just at a business owner level, but for each individual product or event. And when we issue these, we will allow a 12-week period for completion. And once we receive these back, we will then ingest these into our website. As has been referenced again previously, this is self-certification. There is no auditing with this, so honesty is vital to ensure consumers' expectations are met. And the guidance and descriptions provided are designed to ensure there is no accidental inaccuracy. In terms of when we're distributing this to our trade and industry, they'll be providing Google Docs, and they're designed so these can be ingested automatically into our database. So please use these for ease. Let us take the burden off you for this launch phase at least. And we want to make this as easy as possible to have as many onboarded as we can be from the launch of this initiative. And we also have forms in Word docs that can be provided to anyone. So even if you're not a product on Discover Northern Ireland and you want to present it on your own website, we can provide these out for information for any website or indeed any other documentation. So whilst this is a vital step and we hope will be transformative for the end user and provide consistency of the information, one change the information available, but provide consistency of information across the UK and the island of Ireland, this is just the first step, as I've referenced earlier. But often the first step is the most important, and we hope this will really help deliver a firm foundation of information. But much information and guidance is available on the toolkit and on the e-learning platform, and it is still not yet a full replacement for an accessibility audit, which is of course independently and provides that rich variety which is often required. And whilst this is only a 30-minute checklist, and we've talked about how accessibility is not just a tick box, it is a journey, but hopefully this 30-question checklist will make accessible information more accessible to both consumers and the industry. And that's it for me. I'll be around over lunch if anyone wants to talk to me more or ask me any questions. And now we've got another one of our best practice videos, and this time this is from the Ramada Hotel.
Ramada by Wyndham.
So my name's Claire Smallwood and I am the operations manager here at the Ramada Hotel. Our business, I think it kind of starts from the first call that they're coming, they want to book a room, and if they book an accessible room with us, we will always ask, is there anything that we can do, from a personal level? It doesn't have to be a tick box scenario. Is there anything, personal to you that will make your experience here better? It could be something small, it could be something big, and certainly if it's something that we can do, we will accommodate. We can offer them vibrating pillows if they have, hearing issues. If there's a fire alarm, we can do that. We can offer Braille menus. There's lots of things we can do, to make sure that their stay's comfortable. And we can also offer interconnecting rooms so that they have that freedom, to be on their own, to feel like they're here on their own. But also maybe if a carer's here, they don't have to be in the same room with them as well. Belfast, it's a really vibrant city, and it's really, for me, being within the 30 age range, we've come out of a dark time, and things are in the past now, and we're looking ahead, we're looking to the future, we're looking at a brighter time, but there's loads of different reasons, the social cohesion of it, the economic benefits as well, and the range of people that can bring into the city. Once they feel comfortable to come into Belfast and know that we can accommodate them, then there's a range of things we can kind of outreach to them. Obviously, we're looking at the JAM initiative. So JAM is a platform that opens up to the diverse guest. They download an app basically, and it'll give them a list of businesses and places that are what we call JAM friendly. JAM does stand for just a minute, so it just allows the guests to be able to pick somewhere that they want to go. They know that they'll have maybe a bit more patience, give them a bit more time. It could be something as it could be autism, it could be a stutter, it could be anything like that, and they have kind of said, it's not just a physical disability, it reaches into the, mental health as well, which is great. Obviously it's a big thing now and we need to talk about it a lot more. Every guest is different and every guest needs to be treated, and they deserve the same experience, whether they're paying full price, half price, whatever it is. They all have different needs, and just being open-minded is the biggest thing. And from that initial booking point of view, get as much information as you can as possible, everything that will make them feel welcome. We do have accessible rooms, which I now don't like calling them accessible rooms because I've heard they've been called much nicer things now. But yeah, we do have accessible rooms. All of our ground floor is one level as well, so it's wheelchair friendly. We do have an accessible toilet as well, and all our facilities as well. Conference rooms are all fully accessible for wheelchair use. I don't like using the term fully accessible now because it's a range of people's needs that you need to cover. So it's just important that we as a business tackle each individual and ask them what it is that makes their experience and their stay better, and we will most happily accommodate.
I'll pass you back over to Jamie.